Have you ever wondered what the forest landscape looked like hundreds of years ago? Well, I have. It was filled with an abundance of huge trees that covered the sky in green, left crunching leaves on the forest floor, and brought diverse habitat to the creatures within. But what happened to it? What happened to the beautiful towering trees that once grew right where we now stand? I know that the Northeast is thousands of miles away from the last frontier, and you may be asking yourself how this topic applies to you. But it is the place that ignited the spark for the usage of natural resources present all throughout the United States. I've been studying forestry my entire career, and it has a special place in my heart. Hopefully, I can share just a little portion of that passion with all of you and bring awareness to a topic that is affecting all of us. In this speech, I will be discussing the history, impact, and mitigation efforts surrounding deforestation in the Northeast, and how we as individuals can get involved in the protection and conservation of our natural resources. According to Barry V. Rowlett, deforestation is the loss of trees involving a vegetational succession from forest cover to some other kind of landscape. It is the process by which trees are cut down and harvested in a manner that is more rapid than that of the growth rate. This means that the trees are being cut down faster than they can repopulate and are not being replanted by harvesters, leaving the area a low-quality landscape. Deforestation has been an issue all over the globe for a long time, and it was introduced in the US when European settlers came to the Northeast in the 1600s. With these settlers came a disregard for the natural resources they had discovered. They overused a majority of the resources and didn't reestablish them. Conservation had not been introduced into their way of life, and it wouldn't be for quite some time. It wasn't until the 1900s that this issue was becoming of concern and was understood to be a major environmental problem that needed to be addressed before significantly more damage was done. Deforestation is considered to be one of the top factors of environmental degradation and has a large impact on other aspects of the ecosystem. The most notable impacts being a lessening of biodiversity, destruction of habitat, an increase in soil erosion, and a decrease in the overall quality of the environment. Along with these large-scale impacts, deforestation also affects the environment on a smaller scale as well. Each species of tree has hundreds of other species that depend on it. The trees are what we like to call keystone species. Daryl Young describes them as certain individual species populations being the keystone of the community structure and their activities and abundance determining the stability of the community. Without them, the ecosystem would crumble. It's like a chain, and every species is connected in some way. So, if those trees are removed from the environment, the species that rely on them have to find another means of survival, and oftentimes they are unable to complete the task. This was noticed by researchers and is now a main driver of the push for the conservation of our forest ecosystems. Now, we must not get conservation confused with preservation. Preservation is to cease the use of that resource in order to maintain it in perpetuity, while conservation emphasizes the careful use of the resource while maintaining its population, abundance, and replacement of harvested species. The conservation strategies implemented decades ago are quite different from those that are today's conservation efforts. When deforestation was first discovered to be an issue, there were little to no measures taken to address it. Today, we have a much better understanding of what deforestation is and how to combat the loss of our natural resources. 3 big ways this is being done are reforestation, protected areas, and responsible consumption. Reforestation is the planting of native trees back into areas that have a history of deforestation. Protected areas are areas like national parks, state game lands, and other federally protected areas that are protected from deforestation. And responsible consumption is the establishment of laws and regulations that increase the protection of the resource and reduce the amount of timber harvest occurring. According to Robert Mueller and colleagues, to reduce high deforestation rates in the short term and medium term, it will be necessary to apply measures in the areas of agricultural frontier as well. These mitigation efforts are mostly implemented by large companies and stakeholders, but they can also be applied to our individual lives as well, just on a smaller scale. Now that we have a clear understanding of what deforestation is, the history behind it, how it impacts our environment, and how we as individuals can get involved, let's jump back to the question I asked at the beginning. Have you ever wondered what the forest landscape looked like hundreds of years ago? Close your eyes and imagine. Picture the towering trees, hear the crunching leaves, and smell the aroma of nature. Because of deforestation, that ecosystem was lost, thought to have been destroyed forever. But through research and the mitigation efforts of many dedicated individuals and organizations, we can enjoy that environment, not just as an image in our mind, but as a reality. Thank you.